It was a sunny summer day when the Johnson family decided to go on a camping trip. Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, along with their children, Jack and Emma, packed their bags and set off for Pinewood Forest. They were excited to spend a few days in nature, away from the hustle and bustle of the city. The drive to the forest was long but beautiful. The tall trees, chirping birds, and fresh air made them feel alive. When they arrived at the campsite, they quickly set up their tent and prepared a cozy campfire. As night fell, they roasted marshmallows and told stories under the stars. It was a perfect evening. But little did they know, danger was lurking in the shadows. The next morning, Jack and Emma decided to go for a hike. They followed a narrow trail that led deep into the forest. They admired the wildflowers, listened to the birds singing, and even spotted a deer grazing in the distance. After a while, they reached a clearing with a small stream. They sat down to rest and dipped their feet in the cool water. Suddenly, they heard a rustling noise behind them. Jack turned around and gasped. A huge bear was standing just a few feet away, staring at them with its beady eyes. "Emma, don't move," Jack whispered, his heart pounding in his chest. Emma froze, her eyes wide with fear. The bear took a step closer, sniffing the air. Jack remembered what his dad had told him about bears. "Stay calm, make yourself look big, and don't run," he thought. Slowly, Jack stood up and raised his arms above his head. "Go away, bear," he shouted as loudly as he could. Emma did the same, and they both tried to look as big and scary as possible. The bear hesitated, then took a step back. It seemed confused by their strange behavior. Jack and Emma kept shouting and waving their arms until the bear finally turned and lumbered back into the forest. Once the bear was out of sight, Jack and Emma ran back to the campsite as fast as they could. They burst into the tent, out of breath and trembling. "Mom! Dad! We saw a bear!" Jack exclaimed. Mr. and Mrs. Johnson were shocked but relieved to see their children safe. They hugged them tightly and listened to their story. Mr. Johnson explained that they were lucky to have scared the bear away and reminded them how important it was to stay calm in such situations. For the rest of the trip, the Johnson family stayed close to the campsite and made sure to keep their food secured to avoid attracting any more bears. They still enjoyed their time in the forest, but they never forgot the encounter with the wild bear. When they returned home, Jack and Emma told their friends about the adventure. They learned a valuable lesson about respecting nature and staying safe in the wilderness.